Hello, my lovely students of class 8 standard. This is Zia ma'am here, and today I'm going to narrate a lovely story. And the story name is The Party, extracted from the novel Pride and Prejudice, written by Jane Austen. Alright, students, and it's my request to all students while watching the video, please open your books and because I'm reading line by line and accordingly you will see graphics in it. So here I begin. The Party, written by Jane Austen. This extract has been taken from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Okay, Mr. Bingley, his full name is Mr. Charles Bingley, that is not mentioned in your book, had soon made himself acquainted with all the principal people in the room. He was lively and unreserved, danced every dance, was angry that the ball closed so early, and talked of giving one himself at Netherfield. Such amiable qualities must speak for themselves, were a contrast between him and his friend, Mr. Darcy. Now, next character which which you're going to see. First, I spoke about Mr. Charles Bingley, and second, his best friend, Mr. Darcy. Danced only once with Mrs. Hurst and once with other lady, and spent the rest of the evening in walking about the room, speaking occasionally to one of his own party. His character was decided. He was the proudest, most disagreeable man in the world, and everybody hoped that he would never come there again. Amongst the most violent against him was Mrs. Bennet. Now here I would be explaining about the other family, Mr. and Mrs. Bennet, along with their 5 daughters: Jane, Elizabeth, Mary, Kitty, and Lydia. Hoped that he would never come there again. Amongst the most violent against him was Mrs. Bennet, those whose dislike of his general behavior was sharpened by his having slitted one of her daughters. Next, Elizabeth Bennet had been obliged by the scarcity of gentlemen to sit down for 2 dances. During part of that time, Mr. Darcy had seen standing near enough for her to overhear a conversation between him and Mr. Bingley. Him here means Mr. Darcy and Mr. Charles Bingley, both the friends, who came from the dance for a few minutes to press his friend to join it. "Come, Darcy," said he, "I must have you dance. I hate to see you standing about by yourself in this stupid manner. You had much better dance." "I certainly shall not. You know how I detest it." Detest means not liking it. "Unless I am particularly acquainted with my partner. At such an assembly as this, it would be impossible. Your sisters are engaged, and there is not another woman in the room whom it would not be a punishment to stand up with." All right. Next line. "I would not be so fussy as you are," cried Bingley. Upon my honor, I never met with so many unpleasant sorry here for the word, it's pleasant girls in my life as I have this evening, and there are several of them uncommonly pretty." "You are dancing with the only handsome girl in the room," said Mr. Darcy, looking at the eldest Miss Bennet. Here, students, the eldest daughter is Jane Bennet, and she was the most beautiful one amongst her sisters, right? "Oh, she is the most beautiful creature I ever saw." This statement is being spoken by Mr. Charles Bingley. "There is one of her sisters sitting down just behind you, who is very pretty and I dare say very agreeable. Do let me ask my partner to introduce you." "Which do you mean?" And turning round, he looked for a moment at Elizabeth, till catching her eye, he withdrew his own and coldly said, "She is tolerable, but not handsome enough. You had better return to your partner and enjoy her smiles, for you are wasting your time with me." Mr. Bingley followed his advice. Mr. Darcy walked off, and Elizabeth remained without very cordial feelings towards him. She told the story, however, with great spirit among her friends and she shared or narrated the whole incident. The evening altogether passed off pleasantly. Mrs. Bennet had seen her eldest daughter much admired by the Netherfield party. Mr. Bingley had danced with her twice, and she had been sought out by his sisters. Jane was as much gratified by this as her mother could be, though in a quieter way. Elizabeth felt Jane's pleasure. Mary had heard herself mentioned to Miss Bingley as the most accomplished girl in the neighborhood. Catherine and Lydia had been fortunate enough to be never without partners, which was all that they had yet learned to care for at a ball. After a fine evening, Bennet family they returned back to their home. Oh, my dear Mr. Bennet, as she entered the room, we have had a most delightful evening, a most excellent ball, Miss Party. I wish you had been there. Jane was so admired, nothing could be like it. Everybody said how well she looked, and Mr. Bingley thought her quite beautiful and danced with her twice. Only think of that, my dear. He actually danced with her twice, and she was the only creature in the room that he asked a second time. He seemed quite struck with Jane as she was going down the dance. In the book, it is struck, but actually, it will be struck. Okay, he seemed quite struck with Jane. Okay, so he inquired who she was and got introduced and asked her for the two next dances. Then he danced with Miss King and many other ladies, but he seemed much interested in Jane. If he had any compassion for me, cried her husband impatiently, he would not have danced half so much. For God's sake, say no more of his partners. Oh, that he had sprained his ankle in the first dance. You can also pronounce it as ankle. Oh, my dear, continued Mrs. Bennet. Actually, in English, we pronounce it as continued. Continue, right? I am quite delighted with him. He is so excessively handsome, and his sisters are charming women. I never in my life saw anything more elegant than their dresses. I dare to say the lace upon Mrs. Hurst's gown. So she was narrating everything to her husband, Mr. Bennet. Here she was interrupted again. Mr. Bennet protested against any description of finery. She was therefore obliged to seek another branch of the subject, and related with much bitterness of spirit and some exaggeration the shocking rudeness of Mr. Darcy. I can assure you, she added, that Lizzie does not lose much by not suiting his fancy, for he is a most disagreeable, horrid man, not at all worth pleasing, so high and so conceited that there was no enduring him. He walked here and he walked there, fancying himself so very great, not handsome enough to dance with. I quite detest the man. So here I am ending my version of story extracted from the novel Pride and Prejudice written by Jane Austen. Thank you.